Hi everybody, welcome to the LNROOM. I'm Tony Alden, and today in this episode 10, we are going to register a JSON-RPC method called myPlugin, and to do that we are going to write a plugin in Python using the package pyln. What we want when we start our plugin dynamically is to have an option foo opt, and if we set it to bar, we want to return that bar upcase in the return object. We want also to have two parameters, foo1 and foo2, and we are going to return the value of those parameters in the object returned. And we also want to give us back the node ID of the node we are running the plugin. So let's have a look at the minimum required to get the plugin running. First, we import pyln-client and specifically the class plugin. We instantiate it in a variable plugin, and then we run that plugin, which means that we start an IO loop with Lightning D, and first we're going to answer to the get manifest request, then to the init request, everything done by pyln-client, and after we're going to see how to register the method and also the option as startup. But now let's start our plugin. Once the plugin is started, we want to check if we have a process associated with him running, and we do it like that and it's okay. And now we call our method like this and we get an error. It's normal because we haven't registered the method yet, which we are going to do right now. Pyln-client uses Python decorators to do that. So the first line that we want to see, declare the name myPlugin as the method, and after we define the function which take the plugin as the first argument and returns the JSON that we're going to see at the command line as we've seen before. So let's jump into our terminal and call that method. But before calling that method, we restart the plugin like that, and now we get the JSON that we wanted and we've just defined. So let's continue now and try to see how we can get the option that we pass at startup time. So the way to do that is with getOption method of the plugin object. And now we are going to check if it is enough to get that option. So let's restart the plugin. So now that it is restarted, we get that error. It's normal because we haven't registered the option yet. We are going to do it in just a moment, but before that, we see that we have the traceback that maybe we can print out in a better way using Python. So let's just get that traceback that way. We know the error, so it's not important right now, but maybe if we encounter that in another context, it would be helpful to see how we can get that information pre-printed. And now let's define our option. So we have to register it with the addOption method of a plugin. We pass it a name, a default, as you can see, there is a typo that is fixed just after, and a description. So with that, we should have something working, but as we have a typo, we are going to see an error happening. So we have this error executed before replying to get manifest. It's because the error happened before we enter the plugin.run, and this is the kind of error that we get. So now it should work, and it worked as expected. Indeed, as we started the plugin without specifying any startup option, foo opt option has been set to its default value bar, and now we start the plugin again, specifying foo opt to be bar upcase. And we get that result. So we can say that it's working now. Let's move on to the next stage of our program. So now we want that output when we call the method myPlugin. So we just copy paste it, and we are going to just check that it is working correctly before moving on to the next step, which is to add CLI parameters. So here it is working. And now to add CLI parameters to the method, we just have to add the argument to that function after the argument plugin. And we are just giving back those value in the JSON that we return. And now we restart the plugin and check if it is working. To do that, we are going to call myPlugin method with foo1 and foo2 CLI parameters set to bar1 and bar2. We can see in that output that they have been set correctly. And now we can modify a little bit those values to see if it still works correctly. This is the case. And now we can go back to our implementation and look for the node ID. Yes, but how can we get that node ID? Well, we can use the property RPC of our plugin object that has been instantiated with the LNROOM class, which implement a client for the lightning daemon. So here we can call, for instance, get info if we want some info about the node. We can call list channels or other method implemented by core lightning. Let's see now how would we do that to get the node ID in the terminal. So we call getInfo method and we restrict the result to the node ID. This is exactly what we're going to do here in the plugin RPC property. We call getInfo and we restrict the result to the ID. Now let's switch back to our terminal and restart the plugin. We print out again the node ID that we get with the command line lightning CLI, and here is the result of the code of our plugin that shows that the node ID is the right one. And with that done, this ends the implementation of our plugin. Now let's switch back to our implementation of this plugin with pyln-client and see what we did. So first we instantiate the plugin with the class plugin. Then we register myPlugin JSON-RPC with that use of Python decorators. Then we have the functions that do all the work to return the JSON that we want. And in its argument, first it takes the plugin, and then it takes the CLI's parameters. After, if we want the node ID, we can use the property RPC of the plugin that gives us access to the method implemented in Core Lightning, and we've used getInfo to retrieve the node ID. Then what we can do is to use plugin get option to retrieve the startup function only in the case that we've declared them with plugin add option. And finally, we run the plugin with plugin run. So this is all we did today, and we need to have a simple plugin, but that shows maybe a little bit all the part of a plugin that register a JSON-RPC method. I hope you like this video and it is helpful for you. If you want to see more of that, this is something that we did in the second biweekly live coding session, so you can check this one or attend to the next meeting. Have a nice day.